First of all, we must be aware that there is usually no punctuation in humanist manuscripts. If they feature anything resembling it, it's actually something very different from what we would call punctuation today. Also, as soon as we find two or more humanist exemplars of the same text with any trace of punctuation, we realize that they do not agree in this respect. Punctuation was still a very subjective matter in the 15th century. A real standardization process would not start until the following century, especially thanks to the practice of some famous publishing houses like the one run by Aldo Manuzio in Venice. The Oxford manuscript I mentioned before, the one reporting the best copy of Salutate's reply to Loschi, provides a useful example. This witness was produced under Salutate's direct supervision, as I said before. Evidence of this is also in the punctuation marks throughout this exemplar. Such marks are in keeping with the rules that Salutate spelled out in a short treatise specifically devoted to punctuation. It is thus not surprising to find colons, semicolons, commas, question marks, parentheses, and exclamation marks in this copy of his work. Exclamation marks are particularly frequent. Their high number points to the main purpose that punctuation serves in this manuscript. They are meant to help readers give the appropriate emphasis to the various parts of Salutate's discourse as they read them aloud. Basically, punctuation marks in these humanist manuscripts, as in many others, help rhetorical performance by suggesting the appropriate rhythm, pauses, and tones, a bit like some would use highlighters to mark certain sections of their public speeches today, each color having a different meaning in this person's system. Throughout the Middle Ages and for most of the Renaissance, literature was a much more oral phenomenon than we usually think. People of the time were more used to listening to literature than reading it. This is obvious in the case of humanist orations, whose repetitiousness and rich use of tautologies, that is, couples of words such as good and honest, and synonyms, is dictated by their need to be understood by an audience that was usually far from fluent in Latin. Yet, it extends to virtually all kinds of humanist literature. I thus urge you to read all such texts aloud, not just poems, but prose works as well. This will enhance both your appreciation and understanding of humanist literature. Furthermore, it will also help you choose the right kind of punctuation which, for all the reasons I've just mentioned, will have to follow today's principles from beginning to end. If, as a famous Italian philologist, Gianfranco Contini, once said, quote, any addition is an adaptation of a historically determined system into another system, unquote, this cannot but apply to punctuation as well.